All right, it's time to go over the Atlanta Falcons and try to pinpoint some of these guys to figure out who's going to be fantasy relevant on this newly vamped offense and this team. Let's start here at the quarterback position. We see that Kirk Cousins is now the #1 quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. Finally have themselves a quarterback, and the rookie Michael Penix Jr. Behind him. Now, a lot of people kind of question what the Falcons were doing for taking Michael Penix Jr. so early in the NFL draft after they just gave Kirk Cousins the bag, but I don't think that you can worry about it. I think overall they're just looking for the future. I think a Michael Penix Jr. can just get nice and healthy up, rock and roll, learn from Kirk Cousins, and he can eventually take over for Kirk in a couple years, right? So I think the Falcons are pretty much set at the quarterback position. Now they can just focus about just building around everybody for the next quite a few years to come, right? Kirk Cousins coming off of an injury, but I don't think we have to be worried about too much. But let's just face it, Kirk Cousins can sling the football all over the field. He's a 300-yard machine if he wants to be, and now he has a plethora of weapons. He come around from an offense with the Vikings where he had a lot of weapons over there, where there was Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. Now he's coming over to an offense here with Drake London and company, Bijan Robinson, a lot of these highly touted guys, and we're finally going to be able to see the Falcons elevate their game for fantasy football. I'm liking Kirk Cousins this season. I think a lot of people are kind of drafting him a little bit lower than what he should be. He's going to be slinging the football all over the field, and I think he's going to be a very good fantasy value for your team and can really set you up for success if you're able to land some of these Falcons receiving options. Let's just go over the running back position right now. As you see, definitely Bijan Robinson is the #1 guy right here with Tyler Algier, Avery Williams, and Jace McClellan as well. So a guy I want to kind of highlight here is going to be Bijan Robinson. I really do think that he probably will be rushing for the most rushing yards in the NFL this season. He just wasn't utilized very good last season. I think that this season it's going to be open up a lot of people's eyes of what's going to happen and what Bijan Robinson could become. Coming out of high school, I mean, a lot of people did not even know, what he really could be. He was a very highly touted guy. The sky was the limit for him. He comes up in here and now everybody's got a kind of a bad taste in their mouth because they took Bijan Robinson as a top 5, top 8 type of player in all their fantasy football leagues. If it was a dynasty football league, it was probably the #1 or #2 overall player in fantasy football. So kind of PO'd a lot of people, but I think this year he's going to right the ship. It's going to be great. And just talk about a handcuff, right? Tyler Algier showed what he could do. 1,000-yard rusher prior to Bijan Robinson's arrival last season. He can get the job done. He's a very, very good running back. Now he has to take a backstep role. If God forbid anything happens to Bijan Robinson, I'm telling you, Tyler Algier is going to be the man. So #1, if you draft Bijan Robinson, you need to have a handcuff and Tyler Algier if you're playing in season-long leagues. In best ball, take a shot at Tyler Algier because if something happens, God forbid, to Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier could be a league winner for you. I just like his role on this offense. There's nobody else behind these guys to take any type of carries. It's Bijan Robinson and it's Tyler Algier, those two guys. If one of those two guys goes and gets hurt, just even if Tyler Algier gets hurt, Bijan Robinson's going to explode on offense because they won't be sharing the ball as much. I still think Bijan Robinson clears well over 1,000 yards rushing this season. I think Tyler Algier, he's going to get him a nice chunk of yardage as well. These guys, I like both these guys for fantasy football. Let's go over the wide receiver position. Look at the depth chart here real quick. Looking at Drake London being the #1 guy here. Darnell Mooney, the wide receiver coming over from the Chicago Bears. Rondell Moore over there from the Cardinals. We got Casey Washington, Ray McLeod, and Kadero Hodge as well. So these guys is an underrated receiving core. I think that Drake London finally gets his first 1,000-yard receiving. I think a lot of people are forgetting about Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney, he used to be the #1 wide receiver for the Chicago Bears just a few years ago prior to DJ Moore coming over there. He has the tools to be fantasy football relevant. I think that you can have Darnell Mooney get him a hell of a price right now in fantasy football. And I'm telling you, Kirk Cousins, Darnell Mooney, that could be an electric combination. We even talk about Drake London, right? He's a nice, tall, lanky wide receiver. Definitely, truly the 1A type of wide receiver for this offense. He's going to be the first read in a lot of situations. I like what he can bring. He's got good touchdown upside, good red zone ability, and I'm telling you, he's got the hands to get the job done. Now having a quarterback that can deliver the football to him at a consistent rate, I think you're going to see Drake London absolutely explode. A lot of people aren't forgetting this guy, this third wide receiver, Rondell Moore. He's got the tools to give you some nice spike weeks and maybe could be a nice decent flex play for you. I like what I see from Rondell Moore. Could be a wide receiver that kind of flies out of the radar, somebody you can get towards the back end of your draft and could pay some high dividends if, God forbid, there is an injury to either Drake London or Darnell Mooney, or just if you need somebody to plug and play for a week because of a bye week or an injury on your own team. Rondell Moore could be a good substitute for that option right there. pull up the depth chart again. Look at the tight end position here. Kyle Pitts and Charlie Warner as well. So I know we've all heard it, right? This is the year for Kyle Pitts, but I'm telling you guys, it could be the year for Kyle Pitts. He's not only working at the tight end position, he's also working at the wide receiver position. Could end up as that wide receiver 2 type of role in some of these offensive sets. And I'm telling you, Kyle Pitts, he's electric. He's got the speed, he's got the hands, he's got the athleticism. You gotta remember, when he was coming out of college, people were talking about this dude as a freak of an athlete, right? He was very highly touted, very high first round draft pick as well. He just had complete cockadoodle at the quarterback position. Kyle Pitts could be the season he comes out and lights up the field and lights up fantasy football. You know, better than everybody. You might be able to get him at a nice steal. I like his ADP as of right now. But let's go over the Atlanta Falcons right now. Kind of go over who I like for fantasy football. I like Kirk Cousins. I think he's a late round quarterback that you can grab, plug and play. Could be a nice starter for you. You can go ahead and stack up all your running backs and wide receivers. Grab a Kirk Cousins. He could lead you to victory. If you're talking about running back, I like Bijan Robinson and I like Tyler Algier. I like both of these running backs to be decent for fantasy football. You can't go wrong with either one of these guys. And if you definitely have Bijan Robinson in a season-long league, you got to get Tyler Algier as a handcuff. You have to. There is no, you need to leap. You need to kind of reach for him a little bit and grab Tyler Algier to get him on your football team. You talk about wide receivers, I'm really looking at Drake London, Darnell Mooney, and Rondale Moore as a late round flyer you can grab on your team. The main 2 guys obviously is Drake London and Darnell Mooney, but don't forget about about Rondale Moore. Please don't forget about him. I think he could be pretty good, relevant for you. And Kyle Pitts, he's back on my radar. Having Kirk Cousins at the tight end position, I just can see, I mean, he's more athletic with better hands than TJ Hawkinson, and he was able to give Hawkinson an amazing, season with Kirk Cousins. I think he's got to be back on our feet. And I want to know from you guys, leave it down in the comments below. Out of all the Falcons, number 1, are you excited that the Falcons for fantasy football? Are you excited for them? And who is your favorite Falcon to draft in fantasy football with ADP, with factoring into that? Who do you think? Do you like these guys later round? Do you like to go really early round with Drake London? Just let me know in the comments below, guys. And make sure you hit a like button, hit a subscribe button. Guys, we're pumping out multiple videos each and every week to help you best dominate your leagues, guys. Smash that subscribe button. I can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.